catch the Bowden Blitz podcast on SportsGrid every week, and you can catch Coach Terry Bowden on Coast to Coast every Friday. Thank God for that. Coach, good to see you as always. Tonight, Oregon goes to Ross-Ade in West Lafayette, and Purdue gave Illinois all they could handle in Champaign-Urbana in an overtime game. I couldn't believe it after the way Purdue had been getting their ass kicked in every game. I mean, teams were just slicing them apart, but they look good against the ranked Illini. Can they catch Oregon coming off the Ohio State game, sleeping at all? Because they're laying 29 and a hook.
I tell you, I've got an urge to take take those points. I know Oregon's going to beat them, but they've got a lot of things. They come off a huge game. They were mentally into Ohio State for a lot of weeks, and now they're coming to a team that they can't show them hardly any good film except that last one. So although Oregon's going to win the game, but I tell you, I have a hard time going against that numbers for Purdue.
Tonight in Provo, this tough BYU team that's undefeated and ranked 13th, they're laying 9 to Oklahoma State. And the Cowboys have struggled of late. And we just saw what BYU did to Arizona at home in Provo. They put 41 on them. What do you think they do tonight against Gundy's Pokes?
Yeah, I think Gundy's Pokes are having trouble. They can't run the ball like they're used to doing. They can't find which quarterback they want to use. And Coach Gundy keeps saying, we're going to get it straightened out. And they haven't been able to get it straightened out. BYU was picked 13th in the conference preseason. And now they're 13th in the top 25. They're on a roll. They've gotten more confidence every week. They're expecting snow possibly tonight in BYU. I'm picking BYU all the way to cover.
So tomorrow night in prime time at 7:30, Georgia and Texas at Memorial in Austin. Quite a weekend in Austin, Texas. They got a Formula One race. They got this big Georgia-Texas game. Texas has owned Georgia. They beat them 4 out of 5 meetings. No one's ever done that to Georgia before like Texas has. Texas laying 4.5 here, Coach.
Well, again, I don't know how far back that goes, but in the Kirby Smart era, I sure like the way Georgia's been playing since he's been the head coach. And I don't know if I can go with him on this one. I've got thinking Georgia's they're going to show up to this game. They're going to put it together. I think the athletes, the number one team is clearly Texas. But I got this feeling. I don't know if Georgia, they'll win by a field goal, but I don't know 3.5. But I have this feeling Kirby Smart's going to get that team. He's been in postseason play. He knows what the stakes are. Huge game for Georgia if they were to lose another game. I'm going with Georgia, and I'm going with Georgia to win the football game.
Whoa, look at Coach taking Georgia. Sweet. Alabama and Tennessee in Knoxville at 3:30 on ABC. Bama's laying 3, and they have owned the Vols through the years.
Well, they're going to own them again if the Vols don't know who they are or what they're doing. Josh Heupel got that job by throwing the ball vertically down the field and throwing the bubble screens on the outside, which opened up the running game. He now tries to run the football without the passing game to get people backing off, and he's getting killed. Thank goodness he has a great defense, but that's not the style he wants to play. So I think Alabama, when things like this, Alabama's defense has struggled to be sharp every week. Tennessee doesn't have a strong offense right now. When I see that, I go, who's got the best quarterback, the most experienced quarterback, the veteran quarterback, and that's Milroe and Alabama.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Coach. A good one tomorrow in Bloomington at Memorial Stadium at Indiana as the Hoosiers, undefeated, ranked 16th, 6-0 for Curt Cignetti. He's been incredible. They're laying 6.5 to a 5-1 rule-led Nebraska Husker team with Dylan Raiola. I think this is going to be a wild game. It's on Fox. It's their noon game.
Can you imagine before the year that we were going to see a 5-1 Nebraska playing a 6-0 Indiana? But let me tell you about Curt Cignetti. His dad, Frank Cignetti, was my dad's offensive coordinator at West Virginia, and he was my head coach. I grew up with Curt. Curt was a quarterback. He was a quarterback coach for Nick Saban in Alabama before he went into his head coaching period. They're brilliant on offense, and Curt is brilliant. He's won, I think, every game by 14 points or more. And he's going to keep it going because he sees what's going on here. And he's not just a new coach. He's been a veteran head coach for a long time. And like myself, he's the son of an outstanding football coach. His father was really a brilliant offensive mind, Frank Cignetti Sr. And, of course, his brother, Frankie, is a coach in the NFL. But I think Curt Cignetti has got something special going on down in Indiana.
Man, they're lucky they got him because they have sucked forever in football. They haven't been good since 1967. Maybe once under Bill Mallory in 87 they were decent, but they've never been anything more than decent. It's a basketball school. I went to school there. Believe me, I was there for Bob Knight in basketball, not football. And to see them 6-0, I almost fell over. Illinois and Michigan. And I knew his dad, by the way, was a great legendary coach, Frank Signetti. He coached till the guy was like 100. Michigan and Illinois in Champaign-Urbana at 3:30. Michigan laying 3.5. They're 24th in the country. Illinois is 22.
Michigan's got so much uncertainty on the quarterback position. They don't have much of an offense. They play great defense, but Illinois can throw the ball now a little bit. And I think Illinois has got the outstanding football coach. And I just kind of lean toward Illinois here. I just feel like the way they're playing and what they've got going, they've got more answers that Michigan has, and Michigan's got more questions than Illinois has.
How about my Canes? Ranked 6th. They pulled a couple of them out of their arse, including the game at Berkeley. But I don't care what anyone says. You're down 35-10. You win 39-38. That's badass. They're laying 5 at a tough Louisville team. Noon tomorrow on ABC. I think it's going to be a good game.
Oh, it will be a good game. And Louisville is probably the toughest team. I think if they beat Louisville, which I believe they will, and they have to come out ready to play, they run the table till they get to the conference championship. They have got to come out of the locker room ready to play. They can't get themselves behind because the defense isn't playing sharp early. Cam Ward, for all of his greatness, he comes out sometimes lethargic. He makes a dumb decision early. Maybe it's just to show everybody how good he can make it up, but they have got to come out sharp because Louisville is good enough. If they get ahead, they can continue to match points with them and put them in trouble. But I am picking Miami because I think they've learned something the last couple of weeks. They must come out of the locker room, and we must see how they play that first quarter.
Virginia's 4-2. They're going to Death Valley to take on Clemson in Clemson. They're 5-1. They've been hot lately. Clemson's laying 20. It's at noon in the heat.
I'm going to tell you something. I was at Clemson as an analyst 3 years ago, and I was Tony Elliott's analyst, and I know Dabo, who coached for my brother at Clemson. I know Tony Elliott, and they are great friends, and Dabo's kind of a mentor. Virginia will be lucky to play in this game. But you know what? I don't think Dabo will run it in. I don't think he wants to add the points on. I think he'll lay off at the end unless he's so far ahead at the beginning the backup score too much. So I've got Virginia to get the cover the points, but I think Clemson's going to beat them. But I think there's a special relationship between Dabo and Elliott. I don't think he won't rub it in. If he has a chance, he won't rub it in.
Does Army and Navy both stay undefeated? Army's playing East Carolina. Navy's playing Charlotte. Do they both stay undefeated?
Absolutely. I mean, it'll be a fantastic situation if those guys can run the table, and then the college football playoffs got to make some big decisions. Because tell me how many people would love to see Army or Navy in the college football playoff. May not happen, but would love to see it.
So Notre Dame's going to the Benz in Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech. That game is not at Bobby Dodd. They're playing it in the Falcons Stadium. And Super Bowl in 2028 will be there, Super Bowl 62. Georgia Tech will not have King, their quarterback. They're going with the veteran backup that they have on the sideline. Does that ruin their chances against the Irish? It's Notre Dame laying 14.
Absolutely, absolutely. Notre Dame knows what they've got to do. The more they can distance themselves from Illinois, which was just an outlier, that's not the way they play. The more they can distance from that game, they know they are in the hunt for a college football playoff. And I think with Haynes King not playing, I think Notre Dame's going to win and Notre Dame's going to cover.
All right, Coach, fabulous stuff. Great football tonight and all day and all night on Saturday. Enjoy the games, my man. Always a pleasure.